Good morning, Dan from DJMoore Lofts, and today we are officially a week on, so it's a Monday, and a week ago today we started this build over here. So we're on the outskirts of Biggleswade in a lovely little village, and we've got this timber frame property, single detached property, that's a timber frame construction, so it makes it a little bit more complicated. So this is like the part two, if you like, but this is showcasing the structure. So Nathan and Jamie are just having their lunch, so we thought it was perfect little time to jump up there and show you what they've been up to, because structurally we're all done. Just had a nice little meeting with the client, talking through the first fixed positions of electrics, bathroom, ideas around fitted furniture, and even moving some of the windows. And then we've just had Lawson's turn up and deliver all of the insulation, because we've got our first fix electrics starting tomorrow, which then means after they've been, we can start putting some of the insulation in place. But dormer-wise, she is up. So she's not looking pretty from the outside just yet, because we've been concentrating internally, obviously getting it dry and getting it to a point that it's watertight. But now, because of the first fix electrics are going to start, they'll jump outside and crack on with that. Now, leading into this space, it is a monster space. This is actually going to be one bedroom and an ensuite. And actually, speaking to the client after she's been up here, originally the daughter was due to come up here, but now she's seen the space, she reckons she might have to have a little bit of an argument in her hands to swap it round, because the main focus of this space, again, is over there. We've got a lovely view in the distance. If you can see that there. So apologies for the heavy breathing. I'm getting over a cold and I'm out of breath running up those ladders already. So yeah, structurally, she is there. Just got a few more things to do. Basically, if you can imagine, when we construct the dormer, everything is rush to get the dormer up as watertight as possible. So we build on top of the battens. So what we will do is we'll infill this gap with solid timber now, so that the load is transferred directly onto the stud wall, which is then directly onto the steel below. And we've just got a couple more windows to trim out. So we've trimmed out one window over the stairs, an MK04, got an SK06, so a bigger window in here, and then we've got the same size window as the landing in the bathroom. Just laid out these timbers here to illustrate the size of the bathroom to the client. So originally on plan, that's where our wall is. So that indicates the depth of the shower. But after showing the space, we've opted to move the wall over approximately 200 mil. Gives them still the same size shower. Might make it a little bit smaller with the sink, but the beauty of that is it gives them the flexibility of having a larger, bigger bed in this area here. At the moment, the plan was for the daughter to come up, so it's going to have a small double, but now the lady's potentially coming up, it might be a queen or a king. So by us moving that wall now, it just gives them those options in the future to grow up here as well. Going to have our wall here for the end of the stairs, so then potential nice fitted furniture space down there. Now on plan, originally, this dormer window was smaller, so it wasn't actually matching the existing style below. So that size window at the moment is identical to the one below, but on plan it was slightly narrower. And obviously at the beginning stages, we mentioned this to the client and said, actually, would you like it bigger to match? Downside has just turned up that effectively the reason it was slightly smaller was, I don't know if it was deliberate, but it might have been, is the depth there now isn't deep enough for fitted furniture or wardrobe. So I think that's around 500 mil. Whereas for fitted furniture, you need at least 600. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to move that window over a little bit so that they can still have the fitted furniture, keep the same size window, but it's just not going to line up perfectly, annoyingly. We'll probably be best showing you that on the plan. So at the moment, it's a slightly smaller window, but now we've got a slightly bigger one, so we're just going to have to move it over slightly. And here's what we're working to at the moment. So it's a cracking little space. So the idea is we're going to have a dressing table, but we're also going to put a TV point here, so to potentially have a TV on the wall at a later date. Might even have a sofa bed down this end as well. Talked about radiator positions, gone through the electrics, size of the shower, all those kind of things. Just talk everything through the client so they can make an informed decision rather than guessing it off plan. With seeing it helps no end. Now, from a structural point, like we touched on, this is a timber frame property, so it's a little bit more different than a normal conversion. So if you can imagine looking at the space now, we've got these small spreader beams. So instead of us having like a bearing plate like you would traditionally see on some of our builds, we've got these longer stills. So this one's 4 meters long, for example, starts there, goes all the way along, and it finishes there, and then that's where the other one starts for the eaves beam. The idea of this one being longer is because it's got the post for the ridge, and then as well as there's a floor beam here that goes in between. So those floor beams, eaves beams and the ridge are very typical of a normal conversion of this size, but it's just these additional stills that have had to been cut in, bedded on top of the existing wall plate to spread the load over multiple studs down below. So it can be done, but you really do need a really good engineer. And if I hide the address, because I know we get a lot of questions around that with regards to who is our engineer. DB Structural, have a chat with Darren over there. He is a really good engineer. He's got a team now, probably I think he's got 8 to 10 structural engineers, so he's a big outfit now and he's smashing it, so fair play to him. But yeah, so calc-wise, this is what we're working to. We've got our floor beams, ridge beams, we've got splices, so depending on the steel, so they'll work out. So like the ridge beam, for example, we've been allowed a splice midsection, but the floor one, we've had to have it in thirds, for example, so it can't be just done as and where you want. They do spec it. But yeah, structurally, we are pretty much there now, which is nice. So I've already ordered the stairs. They're on order. They're hopefully here due the end of the week, but because they've got oak knolls, we're just waiting on, they might be a little bit longer for some of the oak. And I'm just about to order the windows and the balcony now. But like I say, because the electrician and plumber are over tomorrow, what that means is effectively we're not going to want all the lads in this loft space, so they will jump outside, they will start weathering it in, cladding it and getting set up on the outside so we can spend a couple of days outside, which works quite well actually because this week it's quite mild. So yeah, all is well. But hopefully that's giving you some idea of the concept of a structural space where you can see it. Like I say, everything is nice. Lads have knocked everything through on the ceiling because it's quite a long span. And all the studs line up. It's they've done a really nice job on here. We've still got a few more noggins to put in, but normally we'd put the insulation in first, then put the noggin down on top. And like I say, we've just got to infill these cheeks just so that it is solid underneath there. That's it. But looking at the statistics, not a lot of you subscribers. So a lot of you watch the videos, but you're not subscribers. So if I could ask one thing out of this video, could you just jump on, give us a subscribe? We're just over 8K now. I'm really trying to push to 10K for the end of the year. So if you like this content, you like what you see, subscribe, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you again soon. Enjoy.